Would you take the fall for me if I committed a crime?
Yeah. But you should probably take the fall for me
Yeah,
because
don't do
I'm
it.
gonna do way more time
Way
than
more
you.
time.
So it'll be like a year for you, and it's gonna be like 20 for
Don't take
me.
the
I hope we can work this out.
I'm Clois.
My name is Raymond.
I'm Xandra.
I'm Althea.
What are you two here to talk about today?
My incarceration?
He's my partner who is formerly incarcerated.
How do you know each other?
We're both in recovery, so we met in her home group.
We have some special non-alcoholic spiciness for you today.
This one?
Yes. Do we want to start with the shot?
Yeah, let's do it. Ooh-wee.
Why were you locked up?
The reason I got locked up is somebody did something to a family member of mine, and I reacted in a way that I shouldn't have reacted in.
I was in a really awful codependent relationship. Started down my road of addiction to heroin. Her and I got in a fight, and it ended up in me getting a DV assault 4 charge. I went to county for a few days and called her from jail, and they caught me calling her from jail, and I got charged with protection order violations.
That's
and
so dumb.
I got new charges.
You know they record those calls, right?
I do now.
How old were you?
I was early 20s, 05, 06, 07, around those years.
Which criminal stereotypes do I actually fit, and which ones don't fit me?
The lesbian thing, for sure.
Lesbian thing?
Yeah.
Gay for the stay. And let me tell you, they are all gay for the stay.
Do I fit any criminal stereotypes like my tats or?
I didn't really think about your tattoos. I think first time I actually met you, I thought your teardrops were mold.
She's not lying. She was like, she really thought I
I
had
really did
mold.
not care about his tattoo.
Didn't even
or
see
nothing.
my tattoo. And I tell her when we go out in public, I was like, people are gonna treat us different. And she's like, no, nobody
No,
cares.
they're not. They're
People
doing
treat
it.
us different. Like out in
I
public,
think a couple years in, I realized that people do
follow us in the
around
stores. One time I was playing in the McDonald's with my little kid, and the cops came. Hit me up, put me
Yeah.
against a wall, arrested me in front of my 1-year-old child, crying. Because some lady looked at me and judged off of how I looked.
Did you ever get in a fight while inside?
Definitely man prison is a different experience than women prison. My whole prison experience, all I wanted was to see a fight, and I never saw a single one.
The first day I got locked up, they put me in a pod. Like, I'm from a place, and they put me into a pod from fools from another place.
Oh, gosh.
Basically on purpose. They come in the morning, lunch tray in hand, use the lunch tray, go at it. Now I'm in the hole for 30 days. Show up to court with scars on my face and stuff, and shackles. How do you think the judge looked at me and served me on my bail arraignment? Totally terrible.
How often would you masturbate and where would you do it?
I'm gonna drink and say that I saw enough masturbating by my cellmates and cubicle mates that we don't need to talk about mine.
Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
Just say never.
Yeah, right, like you're not gonna masturbate.
If allowed, would you have had a conjugal visit with me?
Yeah, just because that'd be cool, like,
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
be able to, like, check that off the
I
list.
was there during COVID, so we didn't even have regular visits.
Teach me some prison slang.
A dope fiend. A dope fiend is like 2 grandma's cookies, and then you take like 2 candy bars and you put it in between those grandma cookies and you smush it down and you make it into a cake. That's a dope fiend.
It sounds.
Because in there you don't get a lot of options, so you gotta like explore the food you have. This is super sugary. I'll eat that again. I've made it for my kids a few times. Is that bad?
In what ways do I act like I'm still in prison?
Drink for that one.
Yeah, drink for that one.
In what ways do I act like I'm still in prison?
When we go to restaurants and you gotta go to the bathroom first. I don't know what you're checking in the bathroom every time we go to a restaurant.
Just checking my surroundings.
Is that from prison?
Yeah, probably.
What'd your family think when they found out I went to prison?
It's the least of their concerns. My mom clearly loves you. They're just glad I survived my addiction. They don't care.
When I had to introduce Raymond to my parents,
I was like, they gonna trip on my tattoos.
and I was like, I
They
think
gon-
you're overreacting. Fast forward 2 weeks into like our vacation, our family vacay. My
First
dad
time
is-
meeting him.
My dad, he went, you know, Ram, I'm not gonna lie, when you first came here with all these tattoos, I was like, who's this guy Clois is
They were
bringing?
worried.
But they weren't gonna judge him.
No,
My dad was like, I'm glad my daughter knows how to pick them.
So they didn't. So that's the thing. They didn't judge me on my past. They judged me on like who I am now.
They weren't
which
going
is
to,
cool.
yeah.
Not everybody does that. So that was dope.
How did prison change you for the better or worse?
I just saw a lot of people wasting a lot of time in prison, right? So at one point I realized that there was inpatient treatment for addiction. So yeah, I definitely think that it changed me for the better, but I think I'm the minority.
How did prison change you for better or worse?
It gave me PTSD, honestly. Like when I was in county, somebody hung themselves. Like when I got out, I had tons of nightmares. Like every time you go to sleep, you're back in prison. I haven't had those dreams in years, but I used to have them like every night. And so going to sleep sucked for a long time.
Would you take the fall for me?
Truth or drink? How much are you really willing to reveal to your friends?
What's the charge?
How much time would you be willing to do for me before you snitched on me?
First of all, I would never have to. Because
5 years? Would you do 5 years for me?
No, I would fucking never go back.
Would you take the fall for me if I committed a crime?
Yeah. But you should probably take the fall for me
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I have points and I'm gonna do way more time
Way
than
more
you.
time.
So it'll be like a year for you and it's gonna be like 20 for
Sounds
me.
like-
I hope we could work this out.
What don't people know about having a partner who's been incarcerated?
I think like people maybe don't know that getting out of prison is not just about not recommitting crimes, but like being able to like move forward in your life, and how they really try to like prevent people from doing that. How are you gonna break the cycle or get out of poverty if you like can't get a fucking place to live or you can't get a job?
I can't drive for Uber or DoorDash.
You can't do Amazon deliveries.
And it's always, when is the right time to bring up the fact that I have a felony? It's not before I get interviewed, but it's also not after they already run my background check and find out that I have a felony. You have to find like the right time.
I don't know why we don't have more people on the side of reforming it. Why people think that, oh, they did it, so they should be in there. Okay, but the point of it is to reform them, isn't it? Why don't convicts have the right to vote?
We can vote now.
You can vote now? Yeah. Why are you complaining about not voting all the time?
I never said that. I do vote every year. They used to not be able to vote, but yeah, you can vote now.
Oh, okay.
Are you reformed?
Define reformed.
I mean, you don't do drugs anymore.
Correct.
So I would say you're reformed.
I'm not. I don't like that word. It's stupid, and it reminds me of basically the judicial system in the United States, which is awful.
I am reformed on my own merit, not because of the criminal justice system. The criminal justice system did nothing but hurt me. I'll tell you a story. When I was 15, a friend of mine picked me up. This is the first felony I caught. He took me to his apartment. We were doing drugs, getting faded. He took some benzos and got knocked out. There was a knock on the door. I opened the door, cops are standing there with a hammer and a screwdriver. It busted in, slammed me on the ground. He was knocked out on some benzos, so they were kicking him, trying to wake him up. They took us outside, put us in front of a light. Somebody picked us out and said that we stole their car, drove it to the store, and then drove it back. He pleaded guilty because he was already a felon, right? And he would have did a lot of time, and he didn't have money for a lawyer. So me as a minor, he pleaded guilty, so that automatically made me guilty. And I got my first felony at 16 years old for car theft and car prowl for a crime I did not commit.
What do you wish more people understood about being in prison?
It's not like what it looks like on TV.
It's not like Orange is the New Black.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I used to watch Orange is the New Black, and there would be scenes where some of the girls would be like going in and out of other girls' cubicles, and there was like all this sex happening, and I'm sitting there counting the infractions. But it's highly entertaining.
It is a good show.
It is, love it.
What do you wish more people understood about being in prison?
Everybody's not bad guys. Some people are locked up for doing nothing. You know, some people are in there because they are bad. Some people are in there because they had bad choices. A lot of people are in there for a lot longer time than they should be because they don't have money to fight the case. Because some of the best, most talented, amazing people I met in prison that just had a bad rap or a bad lawyer or a bad circumstance, but they were talented, amazing, loving, kind, great people.